Never miss an episode of the Final Furlong podcast. Subscribe now on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And now, here's your host, Emmet Kennedy.
Great to have your company at what is an incredibly exciting time of year. We've just had Trials Day at Cheltenham. We're going to have arguably even more informative races at the Dublin Racing Festival at Leopardstown. 2 members of this team will be there. Come on over, Adam. Get the private jet. Be there and join Jamie Wrenn and myself for the DRF. We're looking forward to that. Lots of talking points from the weekend's action. Adam Mills and Jamie Wrenn with me as always to break it down on a Monday. We'll start with the Beulah. Racing needs superstars, and Sir Gino is unquestionably a superstar, but a very, very fragile one. The positive sign is hopefully the horse will still be around, and please God his connections will still get to enjoy him. There's even a slight possibility he might race again, but that was devastating. No one wants to see that. The race turns into a sprint. The lads were saying to each other, where's Nico? The New Lion ends up coming out on top. What does it mean in terms of numbers? Because it didn't look like a very convincing performance from the second favourite for the champion hurdle, Adam Mills.
It's never easy to watch that, and it just makes for an unsatisfactory race. We just got to hope and pray that Sir Gino comes through it. As for the finish, I just don't think we learned anything. It felt to me like they're all kind of riding a race thinking, well, we'll just wait and see what Nico does. And then it develops into a 3 furlong sprint. They only really jump 1 hurdle at any real pace. You just can't learn anything from that. I mean, look, he's beaten the Mills Lion and Brentford Hope, who are nice horses. They're not champion hurdle horses. The New Lion is second favourite for the champion hurdle, and his preparation for it has been a very impressive win in the Turners, but he beat 2 horses who desperately were in need of 3 miles. He's come out and had all kinds of issues in the fighting fifth, and then he's won a 3-runner sprint over 3 furlongs where he made a really weird shape at the last, the only time he was jumping a hurdle at speed. The champion hurdle picture is so confusing. I was trying to work out today, sort of thinking like, can I make a pace map here as to what's going to lead and what's going to run? Who knows if Lottie Mouth is going to run? I mean, that's up to Willie Mullins. I'd be betting her to win the mares more than the champion hurdle, but if she runs, I'd be surprised if she leads. The New Lion definitely won't want to lead. If Constitution Hill runs, he's not going to lead. It's kind of like with the New Lion, I feel like he needs a pace and he needs something to track, and I can't see him necessarily getting either. He got the job done, and I think that's all we can really say, but I'd be very cautious on this prep going into a champion hurdle, because that might be the first time he's in a really proper race at the finish against older and more experienced horses, and we've got no idea what he's going to do.
Well, the only positive thing I'd say for the New Line, and we'll deal with him before we get to the implications of what's happened, tragically, is that at least in the champion hurdle, he'll be in a truly run race. That would be a positive for him, and this was absolutely not a truly run race. So maybe if you're a massive The New Line fan, you could argue that, he's done well to overcome the circumstances. He's getting £3 from the Mills Lion, who'd raced only a week before, Jamie. He should be burying him, and he didn't. He's won by a length and a half, but again, he's in receipt of weight from him. It turns into a sprint, so I can forgive him. He's a runner. That's a positive. He's a young horse. He's a Cheltenham Festival winner. That race used to be the key trial to the champion hurdle in the Turner's Novice Hurdle. Not so much in recent years, but it certainly used to be back in the day. Where does he rank for you currently? One expect make him 3-1 for the champion hurdle, but where do you see him in the champion hurdle market?
It depends, I suppose, exactly what Adam says about Lossiemouth. But I will say one thing: if Lossiemouth does run in the champion hurdle, is that because there is absolutely no out-and-out front runner, I wouldn't be surprised if she did go out in front in the champion hurdle, if she did run in the champion hurdle. But I still think she'll run in the mares, because Willie Mullins is definitely going to have a few runners in the champion hurdle regardless. But see, people were missing this, Emmet, right? This is what I saw, right, with Lossiemouth. I know it was not a crap. No, I say Glenkillen, no, when the Limestone lad was beaten off the telly by him. But in the Morgana, if you watch it back, Paul Townend is teaching the horse to go from the front.
Yes.
And that's what they did that day. So if there's no obvious front runner, she's the out-and-out 2.5 miler in the race, they'll go from the front. I don't think they have a choice with Lossiemouth not to go for the front if she does run in the champion hurdle. And by God, it's a big if. Getting back to New Lion, what I don't like about the New Lion, no, it's either that or Harry Skelton is holding a bit back. If you see him, exactly, I'm just taking what Adam says, right? They sprinted for 3 furlongs, and the only real hurdle they jumped, right, was the last. Watch back the New Line on the camera. He hangs a bit like that to the left. I don't like that, because that means either one, he's feeling something, or two is that when he's going at real pace in a champion hurdle like he did in the fighting fifth, don't like that, on the floor. And that's what's worrying me. But if there's a fast run champion hurdle, it really worries me about he's jumping is fine, but then when he goes a bit too quick into the hurdle like he did in the fighting fifth, I don't know how to do that. Do you know what I mean? And that's my serious worry about him. Because remember back to Turner's, he cruised out the back and he came along against the yellow clay and final demand, and he's beaten for speed at the end. It was the same on Saturday. I saw it coming up there. It was right on the last hurdle. The speed at the end is there. It's just, can he jump well enough off a fast pace in the champion hurdle? But number two is that where's the front runner in the champion hurdle? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to look at it that way. Is he worth his 133 to 1 price? Maybe. I haven't cashed my bet. I backed him last year 10 to 1 when the prices came out for the champion hurdle. I'm still happy in a way. Do I see him out of the first three if he jumps around? No, I don't. I think he'll be in the three at this present moment in time, regardless of the field. But I don't know. I don't know. Looking at me, what I saw on Saturday with my own naked eye, I thought I'd never admit this. Yeah, he should be in the stairs hurdle. That's just me, because oh my God, not would beat him for a turn of foot in a stairs hurdle at the end of it.
Do you agree with that, Adam?
So yeah, I mean, the new line, I loved him last season, mainly because when we had Barry Doyle on the show, we got to bury the Irish for once. But I think it was more. Sorry, couldn't get over the
Barry,
phone.
you'll be back soon.
Absolutely, couldn't resist that one.
Oh, calm down, man.
It's a really nice sight. The new line last year was his jumping was brilliant at Newbury. The form had really worked out, but there is a sense that he probably landed in a Turner's full of 3 mile horses, and he was just able to cruise around and do them for speed. I think if he wins the champion hurdle, Dan Skelton will be completely vindicated, and we'll all have to go, yeah, he is a 2 mile horse. But if he doesn't, I do wonder if they'll look back and go, maybe we should have gone chasing. Because I think this horse has got absolute bags of ability. He was a really sound jumper last year. This year, not so much. And I didn't. He really
seems to be hanging too much for me, Adam, this year. You saw him fighting 15 trying to run out.
Yeah, he nearly ran out in the final fifth.
Really well down the back straight. Might get married a little at the middle of the thing.
The problem is they've come up twice against a Nicky Henderson superstar, and so they've obviously made their race plans. And at Newcastle, Constitution Hill came down at the second, which left Harry Skelton where he really didn't want to be, which is on his own in front. This time they looked and gone, well, just whoever goes in front, it won't be us. And I think Harry's riding the race constantly thinking, I've got to be in front of Sir Gino. I don't want to be done for speed by Sir Gino. I want to be in front of him in the first run. And then it's kind of just a farce of a race, really. I mean, it's the worst possible prep for a champion hurdle since the Contenders hurdle was run at Sandown with Bouvedere at 1:20. You don't learn anything from this race.
I agree.
All we know is the new line's better than the Meehan line. Well, we already knew that. And maybe they'll get lucky in the Meehan line or be thrown in the champion hurdle and give them a pace. But I do agree. I think he'd have a right chance in the Stayers hurdle, because I think he will definitely get the trip, and I just think he would do most of those boats for speed.
Yeah.
But there's absolutely no hope in hell of doing that. And quite frankly, why would you? If you've got a 3-1 shot for the champion hurdle, you've got to give it a go. And if you get done for speed or you get done for your jumping, then you do something different next year.
The new line doesn't appeal at all. Good luck to you. No, I think it's all been very well explained as to why not. Ballyburn from the front, under Townend, Jamie Wrenn, 25 to 1. Go out, make all, eat a bit of grass, burn them off, try and just go a proper good gallop the whole way around, turn it into a stayers race. He'll come flying up the hill. He interests me.
I will say about the brighter days ahead. It does interest me, Ballyburn, by the way. But I will say about brighter days ahead, right? With the 2 runs at Cheltenham. One, it was probably the worst ride Kennedy ever gave a horse to Cheltenham, because he was falling in Townend.
It was bad from both of them.
And they forgot about Golden
Days. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing last year in the champion hurdle, she was done because Sam Ewing killed her. Sorry, Sam. Killed her, no need to, by 30 lengths beating State Man, when he could have won on the snaff by 3 or 4 lengths.
Yeah, if he'd ever looked in the rearview mirrors, he'd have stopped.
Yeah, I would forgive her slightly. It is a slight worry, obviously, you're Cheltenham for him, but those 2 runs are not to say that she can't totally act around Cheltenham, because I'm sorry, Kennedy made a hames of that mare's novice. She should have won that.
No, they both did. It was a hames on Jade DeGrugy and it was a hames on Brennan Days Ahead.
Yeah, it was terrible.
But
I wouldn't give up on her, no. I think she'll win Sunday as well.
Brennan Days Ahead?
Mm-hmm.
I think Willie Mullins would be relieved because then that ends
the loss of
Perversely, I think he'd be relieved.
If El Fabiola and Ballyburn run on Sunday, it'd be a good race. The four of them, if they all ran, yeah. But I hopefully,
and
you'll find out more.
Some crack when Poneross stays on into fourth and then comes along and wins the champion.
If Lolamba wins the Arkle by 20 lengths, I guarantee Poneross's price will collapse on the day.
He might run a big race at the DRF. They were going to run him in the international. By the way, they should have run him in the international.
They should have run him in the. Actually, it was the first thing I was standing with Liam and another two lads there, and I was saying afterwards in my head, why didn't they run Poneross?
But sure, look, it's very easy with the benefit of hindsight.
Yeah, of course.
The injury to Sir Gino, it's pelvic. It looked horrible. Oh my goodness, it looked horrible on the day. But look, hopefully he'll bounce back. If they get to race him again, then that's fantastic. But racing needs superstars. No one wants to see that happen to any kind of a racehorse, but certainly not to a top-class Grade 1 performer like him. And without him, look at the mess the Champion Hurdle division now is.
Wide open again.
Yeah, so that race, good luck to you if you're back in the new line of the Champion Hurdle. No, not for me. Not interested. Ballyburn interests me in a very, very open renewal. Poneross interests me at a very open renewal. And Golden Ace should probably be a shorter price than she is. Constitution Hill. If you took any of the double-figure prices about him, then good luck to you. Cleeve Hurdle. Where's the virtual docket that I can just rip up now? Impose Toi. It's over. It's over, folks. I guess on faster ground, maybe. Nah, he's got no chance now. He ran well, but he didn't run anywhere near as well as Shantou, who follows in the Paisley Park hoofprints. I don't think he's quite in Paisley Park's class, Adam Mills, but this was good. And 6-1 for the Stairs Hurdle made me have a bit of a raised eyebrow, but I've lost enough on that race now through Impose Toi, so I'll refrain from having a bet for the moment. But what did you make of Shantou for Emma Lavelle?
Look, Shantou is improving, really improving, and other than that one sort of poor run at Haydock, has largely held its form. It's got a really good record at Cheltenham. You'd kind of look at last year and think, well, actually, 7th in the Albert Bartlett probably wasn't the worst run in the world. And that was certainly all right. And we all sit here and, if Jasmine DeVoe had stayed sound, Jasmine DeVoe would be very short price for the Stayers Hurdle. And I'd argue that Shantou has just continuously improved this season. You can get carried away with the Cleeve Hurdle. I remember watching a Gab Linder's horse called Gold Tweet win this by a furlong. Yeah. Having told everyone, this horse hasn't run beyond 140 in France, no chance. And a Gold Tweet absolutely bolted up. Unfortunately, Gold Tweet in the Stayers Hurdle, Johnny Sharon had a brain fart and decided to ride it so far out the back he wasn't in the screen, and it just all went a bit tits up. But, you can get freak results in the Cleeve. I thought Shantou was really good. If I was being critical, I'd say I think they went to the well one too many times with Impose Toi. They probably pushed quite hard this season. He's won a Thames qualifier, he's won a long-distance hurdle, and he's won the long walk. Maybe this was just one race too many, and I felt Nico was very quick to mind him when it was obvious that he wasn't getting there. I won't give up on Impose Toi. I don't think I'd give up on him entirely. Can Shantou win the Stayers? I don't know. I think it's definitely worth a try. I'd imagine the rating is going to go up into the mid-150s now, which is enough. The Stayers Hurdle is a race similar to Champion Hurdle, where this season we've had loads of different favourites. We've had loads of horses. Impose Toi's had a spell where everyone thought he's the top stayer. Then you had that ridiculous thing where people thought Ballyburn would win it because he nearly beat Teahupoo, and it's all kind of a bit messy. But actually, when you look at the Stayers Hurdle, the one horse who's quietly gone about his business and let the racing to the talking is Teahupoo. Mm-hmm. And I know that Mr. Kennedy there has Teahupoo tattooed across his chest. So I will be careful. We can,
no, he's a deep cut.
We've times, but I kind of look at it and think, Teahupoo's run at Christmas is the best run of any of the Stayers Hurdle contenders so far. But Shantou is now probably on a par with Impose Toi and a few others that might want to throw their hat in the ring, Bob Ollinger, those kind of things. You wouldn't want to lay Shantou. I certainly wouldn't want to lay Emma Lavelle. She can really get this kind of improver. It's got a really good Cheltenham record. The only sort of thing I would just question with this race is, was this that deep? I'm not sure Doddy the Great is ever likely to be a Stayers Hurdle contender for all he won the Pertemps. Impose Toi ran a bit below par. The rest sort of have strong leader. I don't even know why they bother going to Cheltenham. It's so bloody obvious this horse can't stand the track. You should put him away, wait for Aintree. That's the place to go. Gal Road and Camsinas aren't good enough. So, there's a little bit of caution needed. But if there's one on an upward curve, it's now Shantou.
Yeah, the negative, just in terms of his Stayers Hurdle, is he gets an RPR of 155 for this performance. Tiapu, for that stunning performance at Leopardstown at Christmas, got 168. So he's coming into this, and I would, even though he's a 9-year-old, that was Tiapu's first ever run at Leopardstown. And we know how good he can be at Cheltenham when things go right for him. So he's going to go to a very, very high standard in the Stayers Hurdle, and you know that Gordon will have him in peak form, and in Jack Kennedy, you've one of the best jockeys riding for you. So that's where you have to get. You got to improve from 155 to at least 168, because that's what Tiapu's going to do, and Tiapu might break the 170 barrier, which might sound strange to some people as a 9-year-old, but it wouldn't shock me if he does. So he has to improve. On the positive, he's a 7-year-old. Ben Jones continues to ride incredibly well. What a season he's having. He's a joy to watch. He's just buried the Long Walk Hurdle winner by 7 lengths. Yes, he's getting £6 from him, but he's battered him pretty well. And he's a very, very similar profile to Paisley Park. Paisley Park was beaten in the potato race, which Lydia Hislop and I are contractually obligated to call it that, by 54 lengths as a 33-1 shot, and came out and won the Stayers a year later. This fella was sent off a 25-1 shot and beaten 24 lengths. And this season, as Adam has said, is just a vastly improved horse. Ace of Spades has franked the form from the handicap hurdle win on New Year's Day. Now he's come out and beaten Impose Toi. He's a very nice horse, and he's improving, while a number of the horses he's going to face, Jamie, are not.
Well, you just said something there, Emmet, when you were going through all the horses, that about Tiapu. I know he's put up the best performance of the year. He put up a great performance last year after losing Stayers Hurdle in Punchestown. But you're after saying exactly what I think. When things go right for Tiapu, yeah, he's a great horse. But they have to go... You have to tick all the boxes and keep the green ticks going with Tiapu to get everything right with him. Because he's that sort of a horse, do you know what I mean? It has to fall right for him. Do I trust him 100%? I don't, no. I thought it was a great run by Bob Ollinger. I thought on Saturday they didn't go quick enough for Impose Toi, and exactly what Adam says, Nico minded him when he knew he wasn't going to go past it the last. I will say that. And there's still a £6 swing in the weights as well. I would be brave enough to play Slave Shantou. He's no chance in the Stayers Hurdle in my book. Wouldn't have him in the 3. He won't beat the Irish. I'm not going to take Lucky back. Oh no, won't be in the first 3. Won't beat the Irish. When I was sitting inside in the Centaur on a Saturday, I said to myself, he won't beat Tiapu. He won't beat Bob Ollinger, and he won't beat Honesty Policy. So, and you have to remember too with Honesty Policy, and that's why I'm starting to I look back at the run the last day. It was a good run, because if you take exactly what Adam said there, Jasmine DeVoe would have been hard favourite for the Stayers Hurdle. And at Punchestown last year, if Mark Walsh should have beaten Jasmine DeVoe at Punchestown and got close to Jasmine DeVoe. So that's what I'm thinking. So, no, Smash Shantou won't beat those 3 Irish horses. I'm not hoping that the Irish form is still way better than the English form. I play Smash Shantou. Good horse, it's improving all the time, but got its own way in front. There wasn't enough pace for Impose Toi, who likes handicap pace. The quicker they go in the Stayers Hurdle for Impose Toi, the better, because it'll just cruise into it. But exactly what Adam says, I don't know why they actually ran the horse on Saturday. What does it have to prove coming from a grade 1 to a grade 2? So that's just me. Ran too much for me, but I think the Irish horses hold all the aces in this Emmet Kennedy, and I think it's between the 3 of them now on all current form. Impose Toi might come back at the Stayers Hurdle in March, but I think it's between Bob, Teapot, and Honesty Policy, to be honest with you.
What's more likely? That Impose Toi was unsuited by giving away the penalty on soft ground and the way the race was run, or he had to fight and didn't find anything?
That's what it looks like. He doesn't find nothing off the bridle, but I disagree. I think he needs a really quick pace to be seen at his best. And Nico, you could see it. Like Nico saw, you saw because I was standing at the last hurdle. You could see Nico. Nah, forget about that. We're not going to catch him. Why kill the horse before Cheltenham?
Yeah, because he's laughed at Strong Leader under conditions that suit Strong Leader. That race was never going to suit Strong Leader. We went through his record on undulating tracks. It's awful. So you couldn't fancy that horse at the weekend. So it's not like the form has been.
Exactly. I'm taking words out of Adam's mouth again. Why did they run him at Cheltenham?
8 times. That's now 9 times. Failed every single time. I don't understand why you keep doing that. The owners just must have wanted a day out. But
maybe.
Listen, guys, you're making me feel a little bit more confident. I shouldn't rip up that virtual docket then about Impose Toi. Maybe there's a chance.
No, I wouldn't.
Maybe there's a small chance.
He's still the leading contender in English. Yeah.
Okay. What about the fact that the shop Shantou was backed from 6-1 into 5-2, at least 5-1 into 5-2, and Impose Toi drifted from odds on to odds against? Like, I kind of knew before the race was run. Adam was like, we're screwed.
I think what happened to Grey Dawning and Sir Gino might have impacted that as well, because there would have been plenty of people started Saturday morning with the odds on treble. Yeah. And if you're a bookmaker and you've got the first 2 results in your favour, you can afford to take the third one on. I thought, on form, Shantou should definitely have been second favourite. So that price is probably not far off being right, getting £6 from Impose Toi. But I think if you watch the Newbury race back, you can see Impose Toi will find plenty off the bridle when he needs to. But I do think this race if they could go back a week, and obviously hindsight's a wonderful thing to say in racing, we can all sit here and do it on a Monday evening, but if they go back a week and think about it, they might have looked at the makeup of this race and thought, what are we going to gain by running in this? We know he handles Cheltenham because he's run well in the Coral Cup. So we've won a Grade 1. We're going to have to give weight away. The ground's going to be testing. I'm quite happy to put a line through this. Now, if he blows out again, then you have to start wondering. But at the moment, I think it's just let's put a line through this, keep the faith. But I don't share Jamie's confidence. I would not be place laying Shantou.
No, neither would I. I admire the bullishness of Jamie, but
yeah, he and I might have a little chat about what he'd place lay that at later on, because I think if Shantou got that rail from the back of the second last, I just think Shantou might lack a little bit of class, but a bit like when Lavelle had Paisley Park, this horse won't stop.
Yeah.
And Shantou is probably more genuine than Paisley Park, who always like to find a flat spot to keep odds on back.
Would nearly all give us the heart attack when Faheen hit to their front that time. And
I wouldn't. This horse is now going to be like mid 150s. Another £7 of improvement gets you into the low 160s. That's, there's not too many in the Stayers Hurdle who are going to run beyond that. I wouldn't be place laying that, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree.
Very confident of the place lay.
Okay.
Very confident. Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by 1xBet. If you're betting in Ireland, now is the time to sign up. More than 7,000 events for you to get stuck into every single day. Loads of new customer sign-up offers, fast withdrawals. You can find out more by clicking the link in the episode description. It'll take you right to 1xBet in Ireland. 18 plus, terms and conditions apply. Gamble responsibly. Your game, your odds. Your 1xBet, official betting partner of the 1xBet Grand National Trial at Punchestown next month, which we're all looking forward to. And for plenty of races at the Curragh Racecourse as well. You can find out more about 1xBet in the link in the episode description. It'll take you right to the 1xBet website in Ireland, and best of luck with your bets. Smallest field for what should be the best Gold Cup trial, but is actually the worst because it hasn't produced the winner of the race since Looks Like Trouble did the double back in 2000. Small field race for the Cotswold Chase. It ends up going to Spillane's Tower, who thankfully I managed to talk myself into tipping up on the podcast on what ended up being a really good tipping show. We had Cryptic Jim, shout out Jake Wilkes at 18-1, 20-1 he was available at. Favre de Shantou, 12-1, tipped up by me. Spillane's Tower, don't really want to talk about the new line because that's not something that you can really celebrate at all. And how did Quebecois get beaten? 16-1. Oh my goodness, that was just sick. Anyway, Spillane's Tower was a great result. Join us for 2 weekend previews this week. We'll cover the Sicily Isles chase and, of course, day 1 of the DRF on Thursday, day 2 of the DRF Friday. Make sure you smash a like on this episode, hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode of the Final Furlong podcast. Spillane's Tower shows he retains his ability, gets the better of L'Homme Presse, who ran a really bold race for Venetia Williams, who's now 50 days in search of a winner. This is great to see Jimmy Mangan back in the winner's enclosure. Only 10 horses, and good to see this horse finally starting to fulfill his potential. Adam, good ride from Jack Kennedy too, I thought.
Yeah, really good ride. Nice story as Spillane's Tower. I don't want to like, because it's like a feel-good story, but the underlying form is like, wow, this is not a Gold Cup trial, is it? He was getting £6 from L'Homme Presse, and I don't see anyone going, L'Homme Presse has got a chance in the Gold Cup. So, how can you really, at the weights, L'Homme Presse comes out best. The first note I'd make about this race is it proves what we thought at the time, that the Betfair chase is just not very good. That form just doesn't work out. It didn't look the greatest race on the day. Grey Dawning never really put in the race, belted the second last race over.
Got kicked beforehand too by the winner.
Yeah, I mean, that mate, we don't know what impact that had. And, he didn't look entirely comfortable. I mean, I think it's a really nice story, but I looked at this and thought I'd be stunned if any of these are within 10 lengths in the Gold Cup, even with the Gold Cup being as open as it is. The trials that we've had in Ireland and the King George form looks miles stronger than this. Spillane's Tower did it well, bounced back to form, got a really good ride, but he's picked off an aging 11-year-old, I believe L'Homme Presse is, 10, 11. Mm-hmm. He's a veteran. It was giving him £6, who's coming from a yard who could not buy a winner in a walkover right now. And as admirable as L'Homme Presse is, L'Homme Presse comes out miles better at the weights, and it rings enough alarm bells. It's a really nice story. I'd want hundreds to back Spillane's Tower for the Gold Cup on the back of this form.
42 days and 51 runners for Venetia Williams now since she said runner. That's where the 50 was in my head. 23 runs consecutively in the last 2 weeks. No wins. So pleasing to see L'Homme Presse run a big race. Denman Chase might suit him or something along those lines. It'd be nice to see him back in the winner's enclosure soon. But everything that Adam Mills has just said there, I think puts this race into context. My thought straight after the race, and actually Peter Michael, shout out Peter Michael, by the way. 1 tip, 1 winner today. Well done to Peter. He's back on the show on Thursday. He sent a message to the WhatsApp group saying, Grand National horse for JP, surely. This is the Grand National horse. Don't see any reason why they wouldn't run him in the Gold Cup in the lead up to the race, Jamie. In an open Gold Cup, you should go. But would his chance be enhanced at Aintree as opposed to the Gold Cup itself?
What's his mark in the 160s? Is it?
That's not going to matter anymore. They've.
Oh no, it does, and he'll need a bit of soft ground too in a Grand Ashton. Oh no, he's
soft ground, yeah. But they've made that. They have made that the Willie Mullins Gold Cup.
Oh, I know, yeah. Willie Mullins benefit race now. Yeah, I totally agree with you there. But
so you have to have a horse that's got Grade 1 chase class, and to be fair to Slanster, he does have that. I understand that,
but he's just too high in the handicap. That's just me personally, Emmet. He wouldn't be nowhere near my radar for Grand Ashton. Maybe they will because of the old great story, because they had Monty's past years ago and they might go for it. And they probably will, but no, I couldn't have him. Unless the sky is open and it's one of those ones with Red Marauder on the Grand Ashton. Yeah, that'd be the only time he'd have a chance in the Grand Ashton, maybe. But after that mark, no. Forget about that anyway. No, good run. I backed him. I tipped him on Joe's. Yeah, 5-1. I backed him last week. I couldn't see him go because I knew, regardless of what Skelton's saying about exactly what Adam said, but the Betfair chase form, they're saying that he didn't run his Gold Cup race on Saturday. That horse is, I don't know if I see people tipping him up for a Gold Cup couple weeks ago. Great Dawning. Come on, seriously, regardless, they're keeping a bit. I don't care how much he's keeping a bit. He's no chance in the Gold Cup.
I honestly don't know how you could watch that race and say that's a positive for the Gold Cup.
I know, I exactly what I thought as well, and he said no, it's a positive. I was like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, and I'm somebody who is I was really kicking myself because he was 50s before the Betfair, and I didn't back him, and I was like, oh, you fucking idiot, because now he is a Gold Cup contender, but he's not.
But Spillane's story exactly, getting £6 from L'Homme Presse. If there was no £6, L'Homme Presse would have won. So how could a Gold Cup trial that is? But no, it's just a race to put on for Trials Day, really. Basically, that's all it is, really. It's for a bit of, but it's not even over the Gold Cup trip, which makes it worse. So I don't understand it. How can it be a Gold Cup trial when it's not over the same course and distance as the Gold Cup? So yeah, we won't get into the politics now, Emmet Kennedy, will we? So
speaking of politics, they're now coming out with it is a drainage problem, or they think it's a drainage problem, which means
it's just a pothole.
That's not a good broken drain. Most likely caused at Cheltenham Hall that caused lengthy delay to final trials race. Guys, that's not good. None of that's good. Anyway,
but all those horses, maybe they'll run into, like Grey Dawning run the Gold Cup. He'd finish 5th or 6th. Spillane Storm might run the Gold Cup midfield, maybe. Long Press, maybe. Exactly what you said. Maybe Emma might go into Grade 2 in the Dead Man Chase. And Florian Porter was only around to get qualified for the Grand National. So it is what it is, race. I put it that way too. But it was a nice performance. He travelled well, like, do you know what I mean? Jumped well, Spillane Storm. There's no doubt about that. But not cribbing the horse. He did it well. But no, I wouldn't be in a rush to back any of those horses next time out, to be honest with you.
Grand National, Ian Maximus was second off 167 last year. He's now 168 after his second place finish, Daffodil Fury. So please God, we're going to be there on Saturday. Galop on the Champ is currently the even money favourite. Daffodil Fury, I know the way you're thinking. I guess Gavin's team are back in form. Let's see if he produces something better. Fascinating, Haughty Colors comes over. Factifile is in there. Good luck with that. Spindleberry has an entry. That's intriguing. I am Maximus. You're expecting the Gold Cup winner to emerge from this race or something like it, and not from what we've seen over the weekend.
Yeah, the Gold Cup winner will come from Saturday. Yeah.
Don't disagree. I don't disagree at all. There's going to be a bit of a clash on the podcast now, though, because we're about to talk about a race that is arguably the best trial. I think the Cleeve Hurdle is traditionally the best trial for the graded races. That time form novices handicap chase that somehow Quebecois lost, I still don't understand how he did. That could actually have produced the most winners. But the JCB Triumph Hurdle trial has produced Catch It, Peace & Co., and Defi de Soy, 2007, 2015, 2017, who all went on to win the Triumph Hurdle. Sir Gino almost certainly would have won the year Mashborough won. The last three winners of the race, Pied Piper, Comfort Zone, and East India Dock, all placed in the Triumph Hurdle themselves. Let's see two boys go to war. Maestro Conti, one of these members of the esteemed members of the panel, thinks this horse has got a serious chance in the Triumph Hurdle, and the other one wants to burst the bubble. So who wants to go first? Let's go to the man who is there on track and so is very excited by Maestro Conti, Jamie Wrenn.
Yeah, I really like him. Yeah. Now, Emmet is going to go. Hold on, he's waiting. He's waiting in the wing.
Never mind. You stand on your own 2 feet. You tell us why you think
Maestro Conti's going to use. I would stand on my own 2 feet. I was doing Emmet Kennedy. Hello, neighbour. But anyway,
that's me putting my place.
I'd place Shantou with the hello neighbour statement from last year, and I guarantee you I'd be right. But anyway, I stand on my own 2 feet again. Yeah, I really like him. Now, I suppose the only thing is that you can crypt the form about one horse town. But look, Winston Jr. has come out and won, absolutely hosed up at Ascot. Like, that Minute of the Study might be actually a good horse.
Yeah.
But I think they knew what they had with Precious Man anyway. Like, Joe was second to one horse town in November. But I saw that from my own two eyes as well. I was there in November. Thought Harry was teaching him a lot. And now Harry Skelton knows that in the Triumph Hurdle that you have to get that rail. And he was teaching the horse. Oh, I really liked it. And he was keen on his hands. I think the quicker they go, the better for him. Yeah, I was really impressed on the eye. I was really impressed. And there was loads left at the line. You didn't even push him out properly. I was there under a rail. I thought it was brilliant. I really do. And he is a player. Going back to the horses that are in the Triumph Hurdle, like Macho Man ran a Proactive. Proactive was very professional in the race, where Macho Man didn't jump great. If they ran again, I'd back Macho Man, to be honest with you. That's just me. Narciso Haas looks the hard right. No, we'd see this Saturday, please God, Emmet, that Narciso Haas on Saturday at the DRF. Am I in love with Narciso Haas, even regardless of the way he quickens and his time is good and everything? I'm not, to be honest with you. I just don't like the way he runs. There's something in him and telling me, no, not for me. So what I saw on Saturday, I just really like Maestro Conti. He's been around the track and it's there and it's proof and pudding. And I think there's loads more to come. And he really, really impressed me. Yeah, he really did. Look, there's a lot of horses up against him this year, and so be it. But yeah, to me, he's still, what is he now, 9-1 at their best price, I think. Yeah, I backed him again today.
Okay. 8-1 is the general price. You can get 9-1 about Maestro Conti with 1xbet for the Triumph Hurdle. Jamie Wrenn is very excited. Here's Adam Mills to burst his bubble.
I'm not going to burst his bubble. I'm not. I mean, look, when we did the French Connection show, when you dressed me up in that ridiculous outfit on the advertising back in November, we sort of...
Adam Wayne.
Gene Ackman himself there, God rest him.
Yeah, we went through the Triumph Hurdle market, and we spoke about Narciso Has, we spoke about Macho Man, Proactive, we spoke about the UK horses. Maestro Conti was near the top of that list. So was Parchment. We won't mention him, but the rest have gone all right, and so we're in a quite good position. I really like Maestro Conti, but I'm just worried about whether he has the speed for the Triumph Hurdle. And I was a little bit concerned on Saturday because if you watch his 2 runs, he's run at Moulin and he's run at Kempton, flat, right-handed tracks, and he's drifted to his right in the latter stage in the straight. So the fact that rail is there on the new course really helps him, because it kind of means, well, if he gets to that rail, he can't go right. He's going to run in a straight line. Harry Skelton's finally worked that out. That's great. The problem for me is I'm just not entirely sure about Saturday's race and the form. One Horse Town has a decent line of British form, but One Horse Town also probably went too soon, and his final furlong time was 5th. His run-out speed was 5th. One Horse Town is stopping at the point Maestro Conti goes through that gap. When Maestro Conti ran at Kempton, his top speed figure was 8th of the 9 runners. He is a future 2.5 mile chaser, and in a couple of years' time, he will be probably one of the leading novice chase prospects in the UK. He's a half brother. He's a full brother to Live Conti, who, if you haven't backed him for the County Hurdle, you should. Biggest Skelton plot job that there's been for some time.
Will you be quiet, Mills?
It's too late. It's too late. Dan Overall of Racing TV decided to tweet about it after the win at Windsor, so the price is gone. But there is a case definitely that Maestro Conti, in the right circumstances, could win a Triumph. But he needs it to be truly run, and I think he needs that rail. And to my eye, I'd be worried that there's 1 or 2 Irish horses with a bit more speed who might also get that rail. And Paul Townend definitely knows to get that rail. He knows to get that rail because he's done it on Lossiemouth, he's done it on Vauban. Everyone knows where to go in the Triumph Hurdle is to get the rail. Nico de Boinville did it last year on Lulamba and just got done. And we pretend that didn't happen. So, look, there's lots of reason to be positive about Maestro Conti, but I'm just a little bit cautious that if it was good ground and it turned into a bit of a speed test, which it can do sometimes, is he fast enough to get the ideal position? And I don't think he is. And I think you will find that Willie Mullins has a really, really strong hand. And I expect him to utterly dominate that Spring Juvenile on Saturday. Narciso has his odds on. If they run Proactive, he'll be there. Macho Man will definitely improve. Yet again, what are they doing? Why do they keep going right-handed with their French recruits? Go left-handed, because Toy is designed to go left-handed and drift right. So when you go right-handed, they drift right and end up on the inside of the track with nowhere to go. They make mistakes. It's bloody obvious. But there's a real case here to be made that Spring Juvenile is miles better than the Cheltenham Trial. Look how deep that race is. If all the entries line up, and even if they don't, I still think it's going to be a better race. One Horse Town was all right. Minella Yoga, Paul Nicholls' form's fallen off a cliff, as it normally does around flu jab season.
Yeah.
Maestro Conti is very good. I think he's better than Precious Man. I think he's the best chance the British have got in the Triumph, but I think he needs it to be run a certain way, whereas I think Narciso has, Proactive, whoever else, there's certainly a case to be said that the Irish are more versatile.
4 of the last 5 winners at the Triumph Hurdle have come from the Spring Juvenile, and it's actually even more than that when you delve into it for the last 15 years. It's a really, really good renewal. And Narciso Has is very high on a lot of people's shortlist. 7-2 is the price about that horse for the Triumph Hurdle with 1xbet right now. So we'll learn more on Saturday. Jamie Wrenn, hopefully we'll have it'll be a coffee for me, but hopefully we'll have something strong to be able to enjoy that with. 150 at Leopardstown on Saturday. And soft to heavy. Peter was saying today, by the way, that the conditions up there, he's a stone's throw from Leopardstown. Tough conditions right now. So hopefully it dries up during the week, and we'll learn more about it between now and then.
It's supposed to be give or take 60 millimeters of rain, isn't it?
Oh, rough.
It's looking dodgy.
Yeah. Hey, if you're flying over, keep coming. Dublin's great crack. There'll be lots of fun to be had. Come on over, say hello to Jamie, say hello to myself. Andy Newton's coming over. Andy's taller than all. Well, he won't be taller than you, Jamie. You're a big fella. But Andy's definitely taller than Peter and myself.
Are the racing, Dublin is good crack. No, I'm all right, thanks. Cheers. Thank God Leopardstown is in South Dublin. Oh, sorry, we're afraid of our D4 compadres.
Jamie is starting to show his age there. He's no longer interested in the Temple Bar nightlife.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not. I'm from Kerry. I'd
yeah.
rather be from Kerry than from Dublin. No, sorry. But anyway, we won't get into that.
Hey, listen, as things stand, I'm driving up and not drinking, but who knows? That could very quickly change. This episode is brought to you by 1xBet. More than 7,000 events for you to get stuck into every single day. Fast withdrawals, new customer sign-up offers, some fantastic ones as well. You can find out more about them by clicking the link in the episode description. It'll take you right to the 1xBet website in Ireland. 18 plus, terms and conditions apply. Gamble responsibly. 1xBet knows the crack. Bet with your head, not above it. Find out more about the fantastic offers by clicking the link in the episode description. It'll take you right to the 1xBet website. We'll just talk briefly about the cross-country race, which went to Favori de Shantou, a 12-1 winner for the Final Furlong Podcast. He unseated his rider on his first attempt at the cross-country, but then bounced back by winning the Paddy Power off a mark of 140. He's taken this race off a mark of 149. He's going to go up again at a Mills, but he's improving. He was a grade 1 class novice chaser. He'd fallen into disarray for a little bit, but he's back now, and I think he's a horse that Jack Kennedy will very much look forward to riding unless Gordon decides to claim off him at the festival. And I think Jack will probably say, no, let's just go and take our chance. Nice to see him back in the winner's closure, but the way he won that race, he'd have to be a serious player for the festival.
I think he is. I mean, I think he reminds me a lot of Percival Agawa in terms of racing. Fans of racing have spent well over a year waiting for this horse to come good. He's shown lots of promise, had lots of issues, and now he's kind of bounced back, done a couple of big price for it wins. He'll end up in the cross country. I thought he was good. I think it probably shows that even though it's still going to be a handicap, a class edge is a class edge, and you can certainly get away with it. And I think there's a lot of kind of assumption with weight. There's lots of handicappers who will have a go at this. The couple of French runners you saw kind of just weren't at it, couldn't live with him. I really like this performance, but there is part of me that looks at this and just thinks, is Stumptown not just bloody obvious for the cross country? Because I think Stumptown is a better horse than Favori de Shantou, regardless of how much he's turned the form round. And under top weight, Favori de Shantou has buried everything else in the division. And it's kind of, you need to see his well-being as well. And you can wait for the day. It's not like nothing's ever going to be 1-2 in a cross country. But, Stumptown might just be an absolute class above this. And I didn't see anything other than Favori de Shantou in that race that took a step forward. The Paul Byrne horse had 2 goes now, been done by final orders, been done here. I just wonder if this is as good as he is. His French form suggests it is. And it's kind of, everything else has kind of had a few goes, and you've got a lot of veterans in here and a lot of horses that just aren't good enough. Even as a handicap, it's going to be very difficult to see too many horses running to the level that Stumptown and Favori de Shantou do. And the Irish are going to win it, but I do think Stumptown is the better horse, and I don't think Favori de Shantou will get enough weight to make a difference.
Well, Stumptown is also a cross-country legend, and he's going to be ridden by Keith Donoghue, who just rides that track unbelievably well. So he's got quite a few things in his favour. I really like Favori de Shantou, and depending on what the price is, I'll be very, very intrigued to be going with him. The fact that Gordon now seems to have found the key to him is going to help. Just very briefly on the Emmett Mullins Paul Byrne horse, Dunnemeiler said that the saddle slipped. I think he lost a shoe as well. But even accounting for all of that stuff and including that as an excuse, I thought he went way too soon, and he's probably not going to get a high enough rating to get into the race in the first place, Jamie.
Yeah, I was watching it, obviously, from very far away in the stand. I think he was at Plains Dunnemeiler to stay ahead of final orders, because I think he made the mistake last year. Last year actually. Yeah, give Keith Donoghue too much rope in the other one in December. So I think he just went way too quick in him. But look, exactly what Adam says. He's had 2 goes at the race. It's got exactly what Adam said. It's going to, like you were saying about the Grand National, this Glenfarclas cross country, regardless of that it's a handicap or not, is going to a classier horse. Mm-hmm. I think, to be honest with you, Emmet, you've said the 2, Stumptown and February de Shantou, and the only one out is another Irish horse in Desert Moor House. Yeah. And I think it's between the 3 of them. Yeah. So, do you know what I mean? So it's 11-4 best price on Stumptown, 6-1 February de Shantou, and 6-1 Desert Moor House. It's 14-1 back to the Godfrey, who can't win a race anyway. So I think it's between the 3 of them. It's up to you who you want to back. But I was really impressed with February de Shantou. That was off 149. He'd get a couple of pounds from the handicapper. Will it make a difference? Cheltenham might not do it, and exactly what you're saying. They found the key to him. If I was having a bet now, and if you put the gun to my head between the 3 of them, I would go with him,
Yeah, I think the 6-1 about February de Shantou is too tempting for me. So
very tempting.
If I'm doing some scumbag each way multiple, which I will be, then he'll be included in that for sure. Stumptown's obviously a hugely talented.
With a coffee in my hand.
With what?
With a coffee in my hand on Saturday.
I just said coffee there, Jamie.
Yeah.
A second there, it's like, what the?
You should take that back.
Jamie, back tonight.
I'd be coming with a coffee in my hand on Saturday.
I can't drink. I have to drive, you clown.
You're closer to me to bloody.
It's an hour away. It's an hour away, and I'm driving. What am I going to do? Get tanked up and then have my driver bring me back? This isn't the Nick Look Daily. This isn't the Nick Look Daily podcast.
We look after you.
Oh, we're live from Miami. We're live from Miami to talk about.
I think you want to play at Dublin Airport, be knocking at a Mills door. Hi, Adam. How are you? Can you let us in?
Jamie and I will get a flight over, stay with Adam, and then come back. Yeah. It'll make sense when we're drunk.
We're going to send down instead.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay, very, very briefly. Second defeat for Jaguar and Handicap Company. This fellow was being considered a Gold Cup horse at the start of the season. I was talking about him on Thursday as potentially backing him for the Ryanair chase on the back of the impression that he'll win this, and then maybe there's a problem with Factifile, and who knows. Handicapper, and the only chance in my mind, Adam Mills, I'd be very interested to hear what you have to say, because now that the plate is going to be run on day 1 and not day 3, I'm not so sure that trip on the old course is going to suit him, and if you're going to unlock improvement from him, maybe stretching him out to the ultimate trip would be better for him. But he's going to be high in the weights, and they do have another horse in Jericho d'Arepene that has surely been lined up for the Ultima all season long. Where does Jaguar now rank for you after his defeat to Donegal?
Well, I don't know what you're trying to imply about Jericho d'Arepene. Are you suggesting they haven't been riding him on his merits?
That's projection. That is projection, Adam Mills. You project onto others. Carl Jung's theory of projection. You project onto others that which you are yourself. I never said that. That's what you were thinking, and then you decided to say it. Interesting.
Whoa, wait. Hold on, you said with projection of cash for Jericho the weapon A.
No. If he may very well. I think Jericho d'Arepene will improve for a handicap chase over 3 miles.
Keep going.
Step up in trim.
Your next sentence should be
maybe the application of headgear and potentially the application of cash.
There you go.
Well, let's deal with Jaguar. What we can say, I just wonder if we all got a bit carried away with this horse because of what he did last year, and he was very good last year. That win was really good. Him and the company sergeant were a long way clear. Well, form worked out. It's fine, but he is also 17 pounds higher now than he was 12 months ago. And maybe part of the reason he was doing such impressive things a year ago was because he had a stone in hand. And now he's kind of reaching his level. That being said, I thought he had every opportunity to win on Saturday. And although he didn't meet the last 2 on any particular stride, and he was a bit weird at the 4th last, it's not like he was giving away lengths to Donegal. And that's quite a long run in for the back of the last. And I just thought the more genuine horse wanted it. Donegal stuck his head down at the right time. The problem for Jaguar is he's so consistent and he's so popular and he's got such good form figures overall that the handicap is never going to relent. I think they can now shelve any dreams of Ryanair or Gold Cup glory with this horse. I think you're right. I think I'd have a go at 3 miles now. to try and see if there's a few more pounds of improvement there. But off his current mark, he's probably going to get another £2 tomorrow when the weights come out. I'd have thought it's going to be, if he's not top weight in the Ultimate, he's not going to be far off it. You'd just be worried about how much more improvement he's got compared to a few others. Now, the BHA rules, which you lads love so much about what novices can run and how many runs they need to qualify, does mean that you have the little advantage that you're not going to bump into something with loads in hand. But I just, regardless of what you think of his rating and what you think of the weights and what you think about everything else in the Ultima or in the plate or whatever they choose to run him in, I don't think Jaguar's got that much in hand anymore. And what I saw on Saturday was a horse who could have won and didn't. And you start to think, could Jaguar place in a festival handicap? Absolutely. In fact, he's the kind of horse you'd never want to place late because he is consistent. He jumps round. He's pretty sound. He stays all right. But I'd just be a little bit worried now in terms of that. To me, looked like a horse who's kind of like, this is what I am. I'm rated in the high 140s to low 150s at best. And I just, he wouldn't want to carry my money because I think he'd always be a shorter price than he probably should be now.
Yeah, on the positive side, my note from watching this race on Saturday was, on the positive side, they're 10 lengths clear of the third. So, fine effort from him. Dunica really likes soft ground, and well done Nigel Hawke for getting the win with him, and fantastic for James Davis as well. That's brilliant. I thought he gave the winner a fantastic ride, and well done to his connections. Jaguar's the key talking point, though, in terms of going forward. And my note was, this horse is a play spot banker for whichever handicap chase they put him in, Jamie Wrenn, but you're going to have to search a lot harder in the form guide for the actual winner.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Emmet. It was first, but I said afterwards, I was standing next to a few lads that I knew, and I goes, why is the plate moved from Thursday to Tuesday? Sorry. Yeah, because that old track is very tight for Jaguar. He doesn't jump as well with the natural fluency he should as a big horse. But like he does make a great shape sometimes, and I think that's what. Now, did Ultimate cost him the race on Saturday? No, but I just think he just didn't go past Dunica when I thought he would, especially up the straight when he did last year with the company sergeant. But exactly, he load a hand last year in the play. No, I see there he's top. He's the favourite for the Ultimate, so he's 8-1 for the Ultimate. He is, yeah, he's the favourite for the Ultimate. Ridiculous. But exactly what you're saying, Emmet, if he has any chance of placing, as you've said, in a handicap at Cheltenham, it'll have to be the Ultimate now, because I wouldn't be in love with him around in the plate in the old track. No. Would I back him at 8-1 favourite for the Ultimate to win? Would be no. Would it be an each way place bet? Maybe, but that's too short now for me as well. 8-1 in the Ultimate, no thanks. But look, he showed his hand enough, and he didn't go by Saturday, so that's me never ever backing him again.
Yeah. He was one of the JP good things in the day that couldn't be beaten, himself and Impose Toi. And they're the two that ended up getting beaten, and the other two that people told you couldn't win, but we told you could, were the ones that went on to do so. Funny old game racing. He's handicapped too high. So the only way you're going to get the improvement from him is if you go up in distance with him. But that's not a guarantee. And so the 8-1 makes no appeal to me. You don't even know if that's the race he's going to go for. And they chose at the very last minute for last season's festival. So there's a lot of square pegs, round holes for the JP team. Where is Jericho de Repine going to go? I think it's going to be this race. Where Jamie Wrenn is the horse that you and I both started WhatsApping each other about on Thursday. You got there first, but I was texting Jamie about lovely qualifying run there for the Wall Park. And as I'm typing it out, the dots start to appear on WhatsApp as Jamie sent to me the exact same message. So where does Wall Park go to suddenly improve? Probably the Kim Muir, if they can get him in. He was, 145 in Ireland? He's been beaten again.
Yeah, he was dropped £2 by the Irish handicapper.
The PHA will hardly let him in off 145, will they?
Not a hope. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Not after another week.
And I think as well on that, Emmet, if he doesn't get in, I don't think he'll go to Cheltenham, because Gordon Elliott, if he wants to win the Irish Trainer Championship, would want the ballpark for the Irish National.
Yeah. Good shout. But I suspect he is a Cheltenham horse, and that they're lining up.
I know that. But would you run the Wall Park and the Ultimate?
National Chase?
No.
Can you get him down if they can get him to 145? He has to be 145, doesn't he?
Yeah. So I think now, to be honest with you, because if he's not going to be left in the game, you're not a hope. Because if he is, he's an absolute good thing. But I think
they'll leave him in. They'll leave him in. They'll leave. You mean the handicapper won't let him in? I think they'll.
Yeah,
they'll try and sneak him in.
But I know the way you're thinking, Dave. Not a chance in the hell. He'll get £4 or £5 from the British handicapper. He's not down enough. I think he's the Irish national winner at this present moment in time. Yeah.
Okay. That's going to be an interesting one when he suddenly improves. Last race. Well, we'll just touch on Quebecois. How the hell did Quebecois get beaten? I don't understand it.
I don't want to talk about that race.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it either. But there's a handicap in him, though. And it might very well
there
be
is.
Cheltenham Festival. And we told you about that on the Final Furlong podcast when he was 16-1 and he really should have won at the weekend. Well done to the winning connections, but Quebecois should have taken that. And we warned you about the other McNeil horse. Don't trust that horse unless it's a flat track. Don't trust him at all. Cryptic Jim wins in the absence of Active Innocence. It was disappointing that he came out. It was disappointing the way the race was run in the first place. But he carried a penalty to victory. Now he's a Grade 2 winner. I don't suspect that this is going to have any bearing on Cheltenham Festival form, but I like Cryptic Jim going forward at Mills. Nice to see the Tizzards, and Brendan Powell gave him a fantastic ride, particularly to get him up after the small mistake at the last. Nice horses for further on down the line. I don't think either of them are of interest for Cheltenham.
I'd be surprised. I mean, I think they'll both run. But Cryptic Jim, to me, looks like a sort of 3-mile chaser, just biding a bit of time. But, he's already 6. So I don't think we're going to see... I think we'll probably have one more run from him in a novice hurdle and he'll go chasing next year. Taurus Bay is interesting to a point. But this whole race just has a feeling of being a bit weird. And the fact Active Innocence didn't run and Heads Up was just far too keen kind of puts lines through quite a bit. I think they're nice horses, but I think you're right. I'd be very surprised if either of them are major players in any of the Grade 1s in 6 weeks.
Yeah, best of luck to their connections. Great ride from Brendan Powell. Well done to him. Again, just very strong hands. Great rider. He did us a favour as well, by the way, because Jake put the horse up. I know quite a few listeners backed him at double-figure prices. So dark photo finish or not, it seemed pretty obvious on the Racing TV footage that he'd won. But the fact that the stewards then have to use the Racing TV footage to give you the outcome of a result, that's... River Dawn. So Paul Nolan's horse, The Devil You Know, goes great weekend for Paul Nolan, and well done to him. Sean O'Keefe. Guys. Sean O'Keefe. Exhibition stuff. Take a bow. The maiden hurdle form with Skylight Hustle has worked out incredibly well. The Passing Wife went out and won today as we're recording this show. Dr. Steinberg, we're going to see him at the DRF as well. And now The Devil You Know goes and wins pretty impressively in the River Dawn, which has produced winners of the Albert Bartlett before. Tough all conditions though, Jamie Wrenn.
Yeah, there were tough all conditions. It was the same though at Goran Park that day though, Emmet, when he beat obviously Skylight Hustle and the Passing Wife, who've really franked the form. But I suppose everyone's kind of latching on to the horse that beat it at Navan is Dr. Steinberg, because people are crying out to find the Albert Bartlett winner, and who's Willie Mullins' novice Grade 1 hurdler.
Does he have one?
But
Dr. Duminil looked slow today.
He does, yeah. I think he'll end up in the Albert Bartlett too, yeah. I thought it wasn't a bad-ish run, I suppose, by him today. He looks very inexperienced, to be honest with you. That's only his third run in its life. So, do you know what I mean? Fourth run, whatever. But no, I thought the Passing Wife was really good today and franked the form of that race in Goran. I like Skylight Hustle. I think he'll run into Turners as well. So, yeah, which is going to be big field, I think, as well. So, yeah. And I suppose the other horse as well, Feet of a Dancer, how that horse was beaten last year under Pertemps, I'll never know. Anyway, but could run in a Coral Cup maybe, because it's not, if they go to Cheltenham, even if they go to Cheltenham, isn't there a Mayor's Race at Ferry House during Easter? Maybe they could be there off the top of my head. But yeah, 2 great wins for Paul Nolan. And maybe, yeah, Coral Cup for maybe the Feet of a Dancer. I don't think it's a graded mare, to be honest. That's just me. Like a Grade 1 mare. I know that was that a Grade 2 on Saturday?
Yeah.
I don't think she's a Grade 1 mare. Yeah, I think she might be kept back for that grade. I think there's a Grade 2 at Ferry House Mayor's Race. I think I'm almost certain. I think she'll go there. They might skip Cheltenham. They might go to Cheltenham. But yeah, 2 good wins for the Paul Nolan team. Did Evan News put his name in the hat for the Albert Bartlett? I think there's no chance of running the Turners. It's the Albert Bartlett. Does he have a chance each way with his form with his other horses? Yeah, it's the Albert Bartley at the end of the day. You'd have Affordale Fury was second 150 to 1 behind Stay with AFA. He's won an Irish Gold Cup. So, Alexis J, sorry. So, yeah, it is what it is. Would I be hanging my hat backing the two of them at Cheltenham? Probably not.
Well, here's one. Everybody wanted to crib that performance of Wadu at Christmas. And I'm not for a second saying that Feet of a Dancer is a grade 1 performer, but Feet of a Dancer ends up being beaten by Wadu, now goes on and wins a very good mare's race at Doncaster, which consolidates her position towards the top of the betting for the mare's hurdle. And I say this because who does Willie Mullins have to rely on, Adam Mills, with the exception of the rock steady, very, very classy Lossiemouth, who beat Wadu in the entry hurdle last season? Does he have anything that you think he could substitute into that race that's guaranteed to run to a mark of 160, which is probably what you're going to need to get to beat Wadu in the mare's hurdle?
No, he doesn't, but I don't think he's going to need to because Lossiemouth's going to run the mares. I thought it was interesting that Car Geese has the entry in the mare's hurdle. I thought she was interesting because I feel like she will probably run in the Irish Arkle this weekend, and then they'll make the decision if she wins at the weekend or goes very close, then they'll go stay chasing. I think if she gets beat at the weekend, they'll look at that mare's hurdle and think, well, maybe we'll run in that. But I think it's irrelevant. I think Lossiemouth will run in the mares.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that too.
She'll beat Woodhoo. She's a better
Cargie's not a 2.5 miler. She's not no 2 miler. She won't run the mare's hurdle. But it's irrelevant.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Yeah. Kind of mad though, isn't it? Oh, we'll run Lossiemouth in the champion hurdle in a year's time. No, you won't. Okay, anything else from the weekend that you would like to bring to anyone's attention? I've got one. I think it's very interesting. I'm just going to say it before Jamie does. I'm very intrigued, Jamie Wrenn, and I apologize to you profusely for not responding to you. I was distracted over the weekend. Pleasantly distracted, so I wasn't replying to that many people. But I did see your message. I did watch that race back, and I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think Saratoga is a very, very interesting horse going forward.
Yeah, really? What did he do with that horse? I wouldn't know myself, would you?
I think he's just a very interesting horse, and yep.
Very interesting horse, yeah. With the application of cash.
Potentially. Definitely one to be keeping a close eye on, for sure. The thing that annoys me is that in my tracker was Kai Long, and there was a whole diatribe here, and I can't remember whether I got this from you, Adam, or somebody else, but there's a whole diatribe here about how you should back this horse when he's the second string, and he's probably going to develop into a Fred Winter type for Willie Mullins. And he was the second string, 6-1 for Danny. I didn't have a cent on him. So that was a bit annoying. Any points to make about the Nursery of Champions maiden hurdle there? Kai Long beats Lynchy's Rock and the really fascinating runner, Saratoga in third.
I thought, Saratoga was, No. I'm not going to. I know what you want me to say, and we'll do the same when we discuss a certain horse called Munsif, who has a grade 1 entry at the weekend with absolutely no chance of winning. But there's one or two here, and we've discussed the Irish policy of qualifying for the Boodles before, so I'm not going to open up old wounds. I thought Kai Long was kind of interesting in terms of you sort of look through the French form and you thought, like, well, you've been running in the south in really weird races. I mean, the defeat behind Manecki at Tarbes is probably like an 85 to 90 rated flat performance. So on that evidence, Kai Long probably shouldn't have been this price. And Mont Crusade was disappointing. There's no hiding that. But I felt with Mont Crusade that they probably... The race at Nantes, I actually did some work for a client of mine who asked me to do sort of some form study for the Nantes AQPS bumper. And one of my notes on Mont Crusade was like, this was for sale. This horse was ridden in a manner that suggested the horse was for sale. And I think the horse is just a bit immature, so that would put me off the form a little bit. But yeah, Saratoga was certainly, what do you say about that, really? That is kind of, he's making nice progress over hurdles, having been reasonably smart on the flat.
Yes.
Will that do?
I think that's an eloquent way of describing what...
I
think that's the polite way of saying...
Yeah, what you say when someone does it properly there, I'm a chef's kiss.
I'm also going to say that I think Saratoga, you know what, they might run him again in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
No.
You reckon, Adam Mills?
No.
Yeah,
how did you know that?
Hold on a second, Adam. What would be the thinking there? What would be the purpose of that, Adam? What would you be trying to achieve?
There's a race at Naas in the middle of February where I think he'll finish a fast finishing third.
Has that created future winners for Cheltenham?
I'll tell you what, Jamie Wrenn won't be place laying him in that particular contest.
No, definitely not.
Well, might I say, Adam Mills, I'm very intrigued by your views, and I'd like to subscribe to your newsletter.
Yeah.
Yes. Indeed.
Anyway, that was eye-catching. I've got a couple of eye-catchers to throw in. 2 bumper winners that have caught my eye. Well, I didn't catch my eye. They're both trained by Willie Mullins at odds on and won easily. But Love Sign Darnu won at Naas yesterday in the mud. Absolutely bolted up. Most of the field were beaten with 4 furlongs to run. Yeah. And this thing just galloped on to win by miles. Looks a talented horse. You know, Cheltenham bumper anti-post is just foolhardy. I'm quite happy to wait for the day. That was interesting. But I was also really impressed by the winner of the bumper at Goran called Our Trigger. It was only a 4-runner race. It was in absolutely desperate conditions, let's face it. And at the 3 furlong pole, they all sort of like weirdly kind of bumped each other to get racing room. And then for a moment, the Gigginstown horse looked like it was going to canter all over it. And then Patrick Mullins gave Our Trigger a shake. And within 3 strides, everything else was off the bridle and beaten. And this thing just galloped on. He looks like a real sort of potential for next year. I thought those 2 were well above average. I wouldn't back either of them for the champion bumper anti-post. It's just kind of wait and have a look on the day. But I think there's a definite case that both of them may well run in it. And I think they'll both be smart contenders for the novice hurdles next year.
Spillane Tower obviously advertised the form of the Punchestown race on New Year's Eve. Shout out Punchestown by winning over fences. But then Glenkillen comes out and he goes and wins. And that's obviously, as Jamie says, it pays a compliment to Lossiemouth. You could argue the race was there to be won, and it's not the strongest of Limestone Lads hurdles that we've ever seen. Workahead was having his first run since the Supreme Novice Hurdle. It was the same for Impose Toi. We hadn't seen him since the Cheltenham Festival. Foreign Glory is a bleeder, and so it can't be trusted. And Caribou, we hadn't seen since the Supreme either, or at least since the spring. So there was a few horses that all needed to come forward. The fact that Caribou was sent off favourite would suggest that he's going to have other days ahead for him. Mark of 144, the Bows back in the winner's enclosure in a race that they've obviously farmed in recent years. It was, or in the past years, I should say, was great to see. And it was a really likeable performance from Glenkillen, who, for a brief period, was trained by Willie, wasn't he? Wasn't he with Willie Mullins for a little bit? No, it's the other one was with Willie Mullins for a little bit. Sorry, my brain is...
Lyndon Arden.
That's the one. Lyndon Arden had a spell with Willie Mullins for a little bit before... Who's he with now? Philip Fenton?
Fenton or Bow, one or the other.
Yeah, one of the others. Anyway, great to see Glenkillen back in the winner's enclosure. That's nice to see. Shuttle diplomacy. Shout out Ross Millar, who said the exact same message to Adam Mills and I. And we both were thinking to ourselves, oh, we're getting this. No, the same message. Dearie me. Yeah, nice performance. He'd need another run to qualify for a handicap. But obviously, champion bumper placed. And he's a horse that I'm sure the Coopers will have some fun with. That no drama descent form is dirt. Now, it doesn't mean that he can't go and win at Cheltenham, but his form is absolute dirt so far. So he can only beat what's put in front of him, but that's a bit of a question mark. Okay, anything else to mention before we wrap it up?
No, you just mentioned shuttle diplomacy, and I thought probably going on to next week, you have to remember as well that King Rasco Gray was receiving £8 from him in that Limerick race. I started a joke as one race who would have him in mind. He's obviously going to go off a short price favourite from next week's big 2 mile handicap hurdle. I started the joke. Yeah. Kaiser Ball. Oh no, the less said about that horse, the better. Because he is a good horse, but we won't get into that. But yeah, King Rasco Gray, you have to remember that. But that was a good performance by Shuttle Diplomacy. My worrying factor that I don't think he'll run before Cheltenham. He should, because he should be in the handicaps. But he need one more run, exactly what you said, Emmet. Would I touch him for Turners or Neville Barrett? No, because I think he'd have a chance in the Martin Pipe.
Yeah. Great to see Gavin Cromwell back in the winners' enclosure. Now as the hour was, fantastic. Well done to them. How he got up. That was a fantastic ride from Owen Staples. Just seemed like the JP horse just seemed to pull himself up in the closing stages, which is obviously very frustrating. Home by the Lee was really good. Staffordshire Knot was a funny old horse. Jerry Clon was beaten a long way. Goran had a huge crowd. Well done to them. It was good to see a massive crowd there again for the Thyestes. But in terms of the Cheltenham Festival, I don't think we saw anything aside from the bumper horse, maybe, that would make you go.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Final Furlong Podcast. Really hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, smash a like on this episode. It's a huge help to us with the algorithm. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode of the Final Furlong Podcast. We will have 2 weekend previews for you. Thursday is our special for DRF Day 1 and the Sicily Isles, and all the best of the rest from the UK, but it'll be heavily DRF focused. And then on Friday, Adam Mills will be back with us, and Andy Newton, who will be getting ready to board a plane for Day 2 of the DRF as well. Looking forward to that, and lots more Cheltenham content coming your way as well. Smash a like on this episode. Leave a comment below. We always reply, even to the one who called me a Muppet last week. So that's Peter Michael was called a clown. I'm a Muppet. Auditions are there for dumb, fool, idiot. Any other negative terms?
Clown.
Clown. Yeah, clown. No, we have clown. We have clown. We have Muppet.
We got a couple of clown face.
Yeah. Any other ones we're looking for there? We can throw in. Yeah. Whatever suits you. That's fine. From Adam Mills, Jamie Wrenn, and me. Look after yourself and each other. We'll talk to you again very, very soon in the Final Furlong Podcast. From all of us, God bless.
Thanks for spending some time with us on the Final Furlong Podcast. We're independent media, so if you like what we do, hit like, share, and subscribe. It's free, it's quick, and it genuinely helps. And if you enjoyed this episode, there's plenty more where that came from. Don't miss out. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all major platforms, and join us on the gravy train. The Final Furlong Podcast. Independent, unfiltered, and powered by you.